Welcome to the weekly episode of the Freelancer Codex. Your host, Steven, and co-hosts Mike, Devon, and JD are all set. Join us and tweet your questions at Freelancer Codex. Find us on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or send emails to freelancercodex@gmail.com. Strap into your javelins, and let's drop in.
Hey, welcome freelancers to episode 99 of the Freelancer Codex podcast. A very special episode, I might add. I said that earlier, and Booga from Twitter was making fun of me that I say every episode is a very special episode. But I think this episode is even more special because we are joined by guest, former employee of BioWare, Presley Haynes. And it's Haynes, right?
Heinz, but close enough.
Heinz? Okay. So, and this is what I was going to ask. Like Heinz, like heiress to the Heinz ketchup dynasty?
I wish. That would be fun.
Okay. Different. Well, we're grateful, Presley, that you were able to make it out. You're able to join us. We've been talking a lot back and forth on Twitter for a really long time. Tried to get you on while you were with BioWare, but BioWare was like, they didn't really want us to talk to anyone ever. They're like, please don't talk to Freelancer Codex. So we were kind of blackballed from that. So we're glad that you were able to come on now. So welcome to the show.
You've got all
Thank you very much.
This really is going to be the highlight of the month, right? I'm guessing.
I'd say so.
What could be more exciting than this? So we like to say hi to Phaedron in Alaska. They're hanging out and chat with us. So glad to see you guys here. All right, today it's the 15th of August, a very fun day here because all the kids go back to school over here and in our neck of the woods. So kids are back, parents are happy, teachers are super sad, I guess. Mike, I mean, as a teacher, I mean, you look sad. Are you sad that you have all your kids back in school now?
I am actually not. I was ready. I think, I don't know if all teachers feel this way, but I feel like there's a limit to summer and it's time to go back and it's time to get back going. And it's fun to see all the kiddos and their new stuff and their faces and they're just bright and full and they're ready to go. And it's fun to be a part of that. And it's fun to help kiddos reach their potential. So I enjoy what I do and I love it a lot. So I'm excited. I'm glad to be back.
You can channel all that excitement into the show, and it's going to be great.
Right here.
So it has been 181 days since the game has launched, and it's been 9 days since the Cataclysm has gone live. So we're going to do a lot of talk about the Cataclysm. We're going to let Presley tell us who she is, what she does, what it means to be an audio artist. We've got a couple of housekeeping things we're going to do. We've got some new bosses to shout out on, and then we've got some news to cover, and then we'll jump into the Cataclysm because I think, like that 9 days, I think the overall feeling of the Cataclysm is kind of shifted because it's something that it's really hard the first couple days to jump into the Cataclysm and wrap your minds around it. But now that 9 days have gone past, it really seems like a lot of players that we've encountered out in the field have really grasped the concept and things have progressed a lot better. So first things first, Presley, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and how you make things that are imaginary have sound? Because that seems really foreign to me. How do you take something that no one's ever imagined and this is what it sounds like?
Well, that's a pretty huge question, really, in the end. But yeah, I guess I'm an audio artist. My whole job is designing the audio for the game. At BioWare in particular, I was mainly in charge of helping out on creatures. So they gave me things such as the little elemental ads that come in with the monitor. The Ascaria Elder, the Luminary, was a big one. I did a little bit on Vera. The Grabbit King that showed up for a bit in the test server.
Yep.
That was a thing. And every sort of aspect of it is very different in terms of how to make the thing sound like the thing. You know, a lot of it for me is real world inspiration. So if I'm looking at the Luminary, it was a lot of, you know, kind of rackety old metal kind of stuff is what I imagined. It was just kind of like hobbled together in any way they could manage to create this big source of destruction. So I used a lot of clanking metal, a lot of like rusty kind of ronks and creaks that I could find and stuff like that. A lot of like sledgehammer on car.
So
So
when
you,
you
you know,
say find, what do you mean? Are you in a studio creating this sound? Are you mixing it on a soundboard? Is it all digital? Like what do you mean find?
So for find for me is either find the inspiration and then go and record it, or
Okay.
find it in a bunch of custom libraries that have been pre-recorded for us.
Gotcha.
And it depends on the situation for that. You know, if it's a matter of I have this thing that I know I can record and I think that's going to fit the sound that I'm doing, then I'll absolutely grab some microphones and go and make that happen.
Right.
And if that's not an option, then it's off to the sound library as we go.
That's
so
cool.
did you get to beat up an old car with a sledgehammer then?
Not for this particular project, but at one point in my life I did, and it was incredibly satisfying.
I can imagine that would be. So I mean, because BioWare's is an EA studio. I mean, I imagine there's a huge library of like every sound that's ever been created by an EA property. So you probably have millions and millions of sound files to go through. Is it very often that you have to be like, okay, I've never heard this sound before. I've got to go out and I've got to make it, or is it just, man, now I got to sift through, so many thousands of files to find the exact one that I want?
Um, in regards to having a bunch of libraries that were for like any game ever kind of thing, BioWare definitely has a number of libraries that they've pre-recorded for different things. But especially for Anthem, because it was so different than anything else they've done, a lot of it was very new. Um, so a lot of it, and I mean, I came into the game a little bit late as well. I mean, I started in June of 2018. 2018. Yeah, last year. So the game was almost at alpha at this point, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of the stuff that they wanted for the game, they actually already went out and recorded. So there were a bunch of libraries from that we already used. Um, but typically we try to sort of like update as we go and really define a very specific sound palette for whatever game that we're working on.
Very cool. So when they come to you with like, hey, we have this idea for a Grabbit King, do you get a picture? Does someone say this is the idea that we have, or is it like you figure it out, you come back and give us what a Grabbit King sounds like? I mean, what's the pipeline on creating something like that?
For sure. Typically, if it's super early in the process, we'll be getting all the concept art and stuff like that in, and we get to kind of see the start of what it looks like. Personally, I like it when I can see at least animations that are kind of blocked in, not necessarily perfectly smooth or anything, but just an idea of how the thing moves. Because I think the movement of the character is the biggest aspect of what it's going to sound like. The visual art is one thing, and you can see it and you can see what kind of thing they're going for, but until you see the way it moves, I don't think you get a really perfect sense of what that creature or what that thing is going to do. So on a personal level, like if I have the chance to, and if it's available to me, I look at the concept art and start thinking of, okay, well, it looks kind of cartoonish, or it looks very heavy and metallic, or whatever it may be, and I'll start to think of it from there. But I really do the bulk of my work once I see the blocking of the animation come in.
Very cool, because I mean, I can imagine when you got concept art for Grab It, because it looks like a little demon rabbit, right? It's like, okay, so you have to take something that's cute and something that's like nightmare fuel. It's like, how do you come up with this sound like that? Because I mean, the Grab It doesn't have fur, so you can't really like go to like, okay, I need something that kind of sounds furish. I mean, what does a Grab It even sound like?
Yeah, it's a weird one for sure. I mean, it's sort of slightly obvious from the look of it that it's definitely somewhat rabbit based. So, a lot of it is kind of start there. Okay, what do we think a rabbit really sounds like? And if you think about it hard, rabbits don't make a whole lot of sound, really. They make a
Nope,
bit,
just one
but it's a
dot.
lot of just kind of little snifflies and stuff like that. So then you have to start thinking, okay, what would a creature of that size sound like? And a lot of that is the sort of chitter, right? If you think of otters in particular, have that sort of like chittery, kind of yelpy kind of stuff going on is usually a big one. Or anything of that sort of smallish nature is more what you go for. And then you sort of build on that. So the grabbit's mouth opens in a different way than most earthly creatures. So how would that affect what it sounds like? Is there more skin that you can hear as it opens its mouth to talk? Is there more like saliva almost to accompany the fact that their mouth opens in such a different way? and you sort of build ideas off of that.
Very cool, because I mean, if
That's
like
super cool.
the rabbits are weird looking creatures. I mean, they've got those weird things inside their throats, and you're like, man, how can I don't know, rabbits
so
are weird.
cute.
They're fascinating because they're so weird looking, and the idea of like, and now you have to make a sound for this thing, that fascinates me. So as someone that does audio in video games, like how do you get into audio for video games? Because it's not like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not something that I often think about when we talk about video games. Usually I think, oh, you either go to programming or you go to animating. For some reason, for me, like I don't think of audio that often. Maybe I just take it for granted that video games sound the way they sound. But there's, actually teams working on this. So how does one get started in like the audio field in video games? If that's a question that even makes sense.
The funny thing about that question, and we're all asked that a lot, especially from students that are going through university and stuff like that. And the unfortunate reality of it is that you ask any single person and they'll all give you a different answer on how they managed to get into this role. For me personally, I went to a school called Vancouver Film School. I did a music degree first, and then I decided that I wanted to do entertainment industry. So I did a 1-year program for sound design for visual media at VFS. And by doing that, they taught us the film side of it and the video game side of it. So we did both kinds of roles, but all based around sound design. It was a 1-year and the most intense course I think I've ever taken in my entire life. But by the end of it, you really do have a skill set that you can utilize for pretty much any kind of entertainment field that relates to sound design. In terms of getting into the industry and starting work at BioWare, I sort of stumbled into that. I kind of lucked out in that one, really. A number of the audio designers at BioWare all went to the same school.
Cool.
Okay.
And so it's a bit of a staple kind of thing that, oh, yeah, you went to VFS. That's, they know that skill level. They know what comes out of that program. So it sort of became a very standard place to look for junior sound designers is recent grads of VFS. So 6 months out of school, I got an email that BioWare was looking for another audio artist, a junior audio artist, to join the team and try it out. And I applied and I went from there.
Well, very cool. And from there, so you worked on Anthem. You've been there for a little bit, and then more recently, you've actually moved on to Improbable. And so, how has your role changed moving from studios? I mean, are you still doing the same thing, or they're like, all right, Presley, now you're in charge of this whole department, and you're kind of on your own. So, like, how has that transition been?
It's been a very unique but really fun transition all the same. BioWare had a team of, I think at max, it was about 12 or 13 on the audio team. So we all sort of fit into these roles that we had to accomplish. So I did creature sound design and UI sound design, and then occasionally got thrown into the realm of weapons. With the new job, it's a newer game design company. The gaming aspect of it is a bit newer, and so all of the teams are small. I think we have under 100 people at the moment, and at the current moment, I am the audio department.
Oh,
nice.
so you are the audio department.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a little bit different than how it was before.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure. No, it's actually a lot of fun. It's really, really cool. It's really, really challenging. I unfortunately can't say much about it. But I
Understand.
think it's going to be a pretty cool project. It's shaping up to be some pretty interesting stuff. And I'm really, really excited that I get this opportunity to sort of grow my own skill set at the same time.
Nice.
I think that sounds like a great opportunity. I mean, we're starting to see Improbable makes the spatial OS, which I learned today is an add-on for the Unreal Engine, and we are starting to see games come out that are using that add-on for Unreal. And the one thing that I like, I mean, there are always so many cool video games coming out for so many different publishers and developers that, you know what, there's never a lack of good video games to play, and there's never a lack of excitement for those video games. So I'm excited for what you have going on at the studio, and excited to hear. I'm excited to hear. See, that's an audio pun for me. I'm excited to hear what comes out of Improbable. So, Presley's going to hang out with us. We're going to talk a lot about the Cataclysm. So I guess first things first, I should have said this up front because I think there's an expectation like, oh, you have an ex-BioWare developer on your show. You're going to ask a bunch of Anthem questions. And we could do that, but I'm guessing, Presley, that you would just give us the answer like, well, I can't talk about that. So instead of having that conversation over and over again, we're just going to let you talk about the things that you can talk about as we talk about the Cataclysm, talk about your experience in the Cataclysm because you the amount of time that you've been playing it also. So for all the people that are be like, yeah, you guys never ask developers the hard questions. It's like, well, because that would be a boring conversation because most of the time you can't answer them, right? So Presley,
Correct.
you can tell us what's coming next in Anthem for like the next 6 months, right?
She's like, no, I cannot tell you that.
Where's the
No.
cricket noise? Is
Yeah.
there a
Yeah,
sound
so
effect that I can?
have that one queued up. So and you know, to prevent all that dead noise, we're just not going to ask those questions because I know we've been called out before for not asking those types of questions. So I asked it once, I tried, we got the answer that we thought we were going to, so we're going to move on. All right, so very cool. So a couple of housekeeping things that we have for episode 99. If you want to call and leave us a message, you can do that at 505-386-7917, or you can leave us an email at freelancercodex@gmail.com. We would like to thank 2 new bosses that we have for the show. So Jules and Timothy have joined our Patreon at patreon.com/freelancercodex. And we just want to give a shout out to them. Thanks so much for supporting the show. It means a ton to us. I mean, this is a small little thing that we never thought would get any traction. And I think by just sheer force of will of us being here week after week after week, we've kind of built something up. So thank you for finding value in the things that we do. I think we have the best Anthem community out there. I would put it up against any other community. I mean, we've got the coolest community members that hang out in our Discords, listening to our shows, people that are super talented, come from every walk of life. I mean, from all around the country. You have people from Japan, people from South Africa, people from Australia that listen. And
It's
I
kind of
get
crazy,
emotional.
right? So,
I mean, it is crazy because like there's no reason anyone should be listening to this show, right?
To
I mean,
us.
it's a terrible show. So. I'm surprised that people do, and I'm grateful that you all do. It means a ton to us. So I'll stop before I start crying. I mean, we've got Phaedron. Phaedron is currently writing a novel about Cataclysm feedback that we will get to. We just can't read it right now, Phaedron, but we will get to it. Maybe we'll even call you here in a minute. All right. So news that has happened in the world of Anthem. Today we learned that Ben Irving, lead director of the
Lead
game,
producer?
is leaving
Lead
BioWare.
producer.
8
Lead
years.
producer.
yeah.
I think his last title was game director.
Was it?
So I'm pretty sure it was. Let me pull this up really quick while Mike and Devon stall for me.
I don't think it was. I think he only ever introduced himself to us as lead producer.
You are correct,
But
Mike. All right. So
Could be wrong.
Ben put out this statement today on Twitter. He said, after 8 amazing years of BioWare, I have made the decision to move on. Should I read it like Ben? Did I try to have
I
like
know
a
you should not try and
don't
have.
think you should.
You do him
I
a
don't think you
disservice.
Okay, I'll just read it. No, I'll read it straight. All right. After 8 amazing years at BioWare, I have made the decision to move on and have accepted an exciting opportunity at another gaming company that he did not name, by the way. Since the first time I played Baldur's
Which is
Gate many,
fine.
many years ago, BioWare has the dream place I always wanted to work. I will forever be grateful to the Freelancer Codex podcast. I added that. He didn't really say that. I will forever be grateful to all the people who gave me the chance to work on great products with amazing people. I believe Anthem has a bright future. There's a great team working on it, and I look forward to following its progress and playing it from the sidelines. I've really enjoyed interacting with the Anthem community, streams, Twitter, and Reddit. Through the good times and the tough times, you all are great in great hands with AJ and Jesse, and have been for some time now. I wish nothing but the best from all of you. Signed, Ben. So, I mean, like friend of the show, Ben has come on. He was a guest. He popped in a couple times. Anytime we've had personal interactions with Ben, he's been a real great chap. I think that's how they say it in Australia. So we've had a lot of fun with him, and we wish him the best. In the game industry, people move around a lot of the times. I'm sure a lot of people want to read into this like, things are going bad. And if you want to read into it that way, you can. No one's going to stop you. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. But from our community, just we wish you the best, Ben. We hope that wherever you go, you enjoy it there and you have fun. Because really, what else can we say?
Indeed.
I mean, we can speculate all day about why, who, where, and how much money he's making. But I don't know if that adds anything to the
Most of that's
conversation.
not really important, right? I mean,
It doesn't.
we appreciate
It
all that he's
doesn't.
done for Anthem, and all the time he took to came and talk to us, and it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
Presley, does his hair really look that nice? I mean, I know he probably like took a picture of his hair for his Twitter account profile like right after he did it, but his hair can't look that good all the time, right?
The few times I've actually seen him in person, since he was in Austin most of the time, the hair is pretty good. It's pretty luxurious, I gotta say.
I mean, it looked that way the whole
Freelancer
time.
Codex. We ask the hard questions here.
All of us are, except for JD, we're all hair challenged. So
And just like every day, my hair recedes, closer and closer to the back of my scalp. I think, man, if only I was like Ben. All right. So anyway, moving on from that, Ben, we hope everything goes well for you. So there has been a new arena that has opened up in the Cataclysm. So we went through 3 arenas. The 4th one is opened up. That one, what's the technical name on it? We call it the beach here at the Freelancer Codex. That is Diana's Landing. So there's a little outpost out there, and it is open up. So there are now currently 4 active events that you can complete in the Cataclysm. So real quick, I want to get everyone's opinion on the Cataclysm so far. Devon, I will start with you.
all right. So for me, Cataclysm is great when you have a good team that communicates, or if you get lucky. I have not been lucky with randoms. They frustrate me greatly. My biggest problem, I think, for me is I played a lot of Cataclysm during the PTS, right? And so then I lost all that progress, all that ability, all the gear, the weapons, everything I really liked. We went back to the live service game, and then I'm going in and I'm playing with people who don't have any idea what to do, and it's really frustrating. And because you're trying to help them along, but they're not talking to you. You can't, you're not talking. There's no easy way to communicate. Hey, come over here, do this, type of thing. And so it's kind of a little frustrating when
Is your voice chat on?
Yeah, my voice chat's on. So, but they're not talking back, and I'm just like, all right, do what you want. But no, I mean, it's really good. It's a lot of fun to play. I mean, that's why I played it a lot in PTS. It was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. But like I was telling you before the show, I should have just, like you said, gone and finished Vera, but it was so frustrating because they kept doing like half the puzzles, was not doing everything, and it's like they knew what they were doing. They were starting the puzzles and going through stuff, but then only half doing it, and then 2 of the people were just kind of standing around doing nothing, and so I just left. I was really frustrated. But it's a lot of fun when you can have a group of people to play with, or you can go by yourself and nobody's bothering you. But
So and Presley, I wanted to ask you, because this is kind of a weird question, because it's like, okay, so you worked on BioWare on Anthem for a really long time as a job. Like, do you work on a game for a job and then want to go home and play that game? Or are you like, man, I really just want to do something different and play a different game? Or have you been jumping into the Cataclysm like, anytime, any chance that you have?
It was a little bit of time after working there of like, all right, it's just, I work on this for 8+ hours a day. I see the game over and over and over again. At that point, the desire to go home and keep playing the game that I just worked on all day was definitely not huge. Every once in a while, a few of us would jump in and just see what it's like, completely away from the idea of working on it. And I find me in particular, I'm definitely getting more and more into the whole like, yeah, I gotta pick up the pace now. I gotta catch up with everybody now that I sort of took a few months away from it, and I'm actually really looking forward to get back into it. So
But you have a lot of grinding to do. You got a lot of gear to
I
pick
got
up
a
that.
lot of catching up to do, yeah. But
Just
I'm
don't-
excited for it. I'm actually super stoked.
just don't use the javelin you want if you want to buy something, like we talked about.
So, Mike, what has your experience been? Because then I have a lot of tips for Devon for solving a lot of the problems he's created for himself.
I enjoy the Cataclysm. I enjoy the story behind it. I enjoy the puzzles. I enjoy going through. I think it's still pretty buggy. I can't seem to fly very far without becoming victim to the cataclysm. I tend to go down a lot, and that's frustrating. But I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a good time. I dislike playing with Devon because he doesn't know what to do.
Whatever.
He's never where he's supposed to be. I think that's the biggest thing. And he blames everybody else for some reason. He's always got this me versus them thing.
It's true.
He calls people random a lot. I don't necessarily care for that. And
What are you
Why-
doing,
why-
Mike?
but
Stop dying. Do something. No.
whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I enjoy it. I encourage players to know what to do when you get in, because Devon's right. It's super frustrating. It wouldn't be bad if people are trying to learn what to do.
Yep.
But if you're going to be actively working against what I'm trying to do, then it's not fun, and we quit, and we jump into another lobby. And so
I mean, they shouldn't be trying to learn on Grandmaster 3. I mean, that's just my opinion. If you're trying to learn something, don't go on the hardest difficulty where people are trying to push score and trying to accomplish things. I mean, you can if you want. I mean, it's my own fault. I'm playing by myself. All right, I understand. It's my problem. I play by sometimes when I play by myself, I'm asking for it. So, but I can still be mad and not like them. 'Cause-
no, I think you raise a good point though. Like if you're gonna push those higher difficulties, there's an assumption there that you know what to do, and you're there pushing the leaderboards, and you're
I mean, there's at least
I
a
mean,
hope,
'cause
right? You
why
hope
else?
they know what they're
Well,
doing.
well, but why else jump in to a GM3? It doesn't. You don't get anything extra out of it.
You want somebody to carry you through so you can get loot for free? Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you know what, and maybe, and that's in every game. I mean, we
I know.
experienced that in
I played with you
Destiny.
guys a lot. All right.
Yeah, because we're the ones. You're the one. Yeah.
I-
Uh-huh.
Jumping puzzles,
Yeah.
Mike? Jumping puzzles? All right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So real,
It's a long
I'll get-
history here. No.
It's a heated history, and you better
I'll stop
check
you guys
yourself.
before- So
This is
first
a
of all,
PG
Devin, you are
show.
correct. So
See, Mike, he said
you're-
I'm correct. So it's fine.
That's
people
what
should
he
not
needs.
be.
Give that big-headed guy an ego boost. Your head is so huge.
Devin, is that mute button ready for mine? Okay, so people should not be going in and learning. Sorry, dog. My bad. Didn't mean to get in your way there. So people should not be playing Grandmaster 3 and just, going for people to hey, boost me through this, collect the crystals for me. I'll just hang out here and look like I'm doing something. That's not the place to do that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the issues is there are some guides out there that you can read to figure out, oh, this is what I need to do. But unless you've actually been in there and have done it, the guides don't help too much. A lot of this is like, I mean, you really have to fine tune the way that you get your score in this. So it really sucks that people are doing that in Grandmaster 3. I think it's probably because you play a lot later, so there's a bigger pool of people that are on. I play
Yeah.
super early in the morning, so I play with a lot of people that really know what they're doing. And it seems like it's a lot of the same people every time I jump on. So I know that these people know how to run it. We can run Grandmaster 3. We can get around 6 million points per run just because we're collecting everything, not really trying to push the score as high as we can. We're mostly doing crystal runs on that difficulty. And it's frustrating, especially on Grandmaster 3, because like the new event, like if you don't have gear prep for that, that's a really hard event to do, especially for a storm that doesn't have great components. You can die really fast to a lot of those turrets and a lot of those other Valkyries that are out there. So, I mean, one of the best things you could probably do is just run it on Grandmaster 2. There are ways as the interceptor to solo every puzzle that they have right now.
Oh yeah.
So you have to take it upon yourself to do all the puzzles and go find all the hidden stuff and go from there. Because it can be frustrating without a group, especially in a game where we're supposed to be cooperative, but not a lot of people use those methods of communication to make it easier to complete.
Yeah.
Like the communication wheel is okay. It's not enough. I mean, there is a way that you can actually type messages out, but people only receive those if they have certain things turned on. So that doesn't always help all the time either.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is to find a group and run with that group. unfortunately, you just have to figure out when everyone's on, and that's not always possible all the time. So
Schedules,
real
right?
quick, yeah, schedules are tough. So high scores. What have your guys' high scores been?
7
7 million?
points.
Oh, 7 points. Well done, Mike. That's like 7 crystals. I think you got. Devin, what is
Claim-
your high?
I think with my group there it was around 4 million, something like that, 3 to 4 million.
Okay, I'll teach you guys how to do it after the show, so where you get some real
Like
points
I
here.
said, I've been playing with randoms who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So Ray in the chat has said he's placed 18 on PlayStation Network. So congrats to
Nice.
Ray. That's a very high ranking on the leaderboard. So congrats, man. That's pretty awesome. So a couple tips that I would give to people, and this is, I mean, I hate to say tips because this is like, oh, they said do this and it's not working for me. But I mean, go download the map that we have on our Discord. It has a lot of this stuff that it seems like people miss a ton of the time. Usually after we complete the 4 different events, I'll start from the left side of the map, follow the beach all the way down, and just hit every single little hidden secret, like the echo plates, the grab it king.
There's a
I'll
couple
just hit all
bombs that
those.
you're missing on that map. I'll have to show them to you.
Yeah, there's a bunch of the bombs I don't have on there, like the D20s that are over there on the beach in the beginning. People never put those in, so I'm like, what is everyone else doing? Because most of the hidden stuff is outside on that beach. So I don't know what people are doing if they're not doing these puzzles. I might just be confused, or maybe they're confused, but I'm like, oh, no one's done this one. I guess I'll do this one now, and then I'll guess I'll move on to this one. But like, do the beach event last, kill everyone, start over there at the Dominion Vault, and then work your way down all the way back to the beginning, and then go kill Vera from there. Because people just tend to not pick those things up. And that will also help you with the challenges. There's a challenge to collect so many orange orbs to get some of the other wraps. So you got to do that. And it's also possible because there's a lot of people that will go in just to do the time rune runs to get that wrap because a bunch of people really like that wrap. So maybe that's what you're running into, Devin. Maybe a lot of people are just farming time runes and they're not even focused on completing the challenge.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, sometimes you go in there and they're worried, like they'll start off on the very first puzzle, and they're just like killing enemies. Or you go there, like the one earlier today, one of the guys was just dropping, all of the pistons or whatever we want to call them, pylons.
All the pylons.
And okay, whatever, So and then because they want to do the Valkyrie, so
You just need to construct additional pylons.
Construct additional Vespian gas. So Presley, when you were in at the studio, did you guys have play dates like where you guys, all right, all the teams get together, we're gonna run the Cataclysm and we're gonna see who gets the highest score?
When I was there, there wasn't as much of that. Not necessarily like you would go and just say, okay, at this time we're doing it. It's more like I'm going to test this feature. Let's do it as a run through of this thing. So we'd get a few people together if we were testing that kind of thing. We'd just say, all right, this is the thing we're testing. Let's see what happens from there. And that seemed to be a majority of the sort of like play date thing that we kind of did there.
But did you guys have like a studio leaderboard that only employees saw from BioWare?
Oh God, did we? At least not that I was a part of. I'm sure
You guys
that somebody
had
in the
no
studio
fun at
probably
BioWare.
had it happen, but
We're not having any
they have
fun, and
Raisin
that's-
Bran in the kitchen,
I
Steven. Come on,
know.
all right.
Well, I'm actually surprised that didn't happen, but maybe we should make it happen. We'll petition to BioWare. It's like, let us see your internal leaderboards, see who's doing
See
the best.
who's the
over there.
best.
I support it.
We'll all write a petition, a 4-person petition to BioWare. So there's also extra puzzles to summon Valkyries, like Ray Up said in the chat. You can summon a bunch of Valkyries. If you do the pylon challenge, if you get all 7 pylons down under 55 seconds, you'll summon a Valkyrie. If you go over to the echo plates, after you collect all your 5 echoes, you put them into the receptacles and you spawn the crystal. Take one out, that'll spawn one of the Valkyries. If you go over to the time gate events, there's 4 different pieces of a relic that you have to put back into the relic before it explodes. If you pick up each of the 4 relics, reset them through the time gates. So each one that you pick up, all 4 of them have to be reset once. You'll summon the Valkyrie. And then if you go over to the beach at Diana's Landing, there's actually, after you kill the gatekeeper, pick up the key, there's a little receptacle over on the left
Just
side. There's
turn
a
it on.
terminal that if you push, it'll summon the Valkyrie there. So you get a lot of points for summoning the Valkyrie. Valkyries on Grandmaster 3 are pretty tough. They take a lot of time to take down. So you kind of have to weigh the,
Pros
do
and
you
cons.
do you spend the extra 2 minutes taking down the Valkyrie, or do you move on and get the points? I mean, that'll really depend on team composition. I'm sure there's a lot of teams out there that can burn the Valkyries down really well. But if you're in a random group, it kind of, you take the chance of not being able to do that. So, all right. So what do you guys think about the puzzles so far, the 4 that we have? Do you think, are they too hard? Are they too easy? Devon, sounds like some of your groups are having difficulties getting them complete. Mike, what do you think about the difficulty levels of the 4 puzzles that we have currently?
I don't find them difficult. It's a lot of grab this, put it here, grab that, put it there. I think the difficulty comes in with the communication. Who's doing what? Who took the echo out before I came through the barrier that makes them, leave? Because it seems like all the puzzles are time sensitive. They're all doing something to affect the time that you have left to take on Vera. And so if you can balance that with your team, if you know who's doing what, if you have a guy taking you through for the first time and he says, all right, you guys do this, we're all going to do this together, but wait, I'm going to go over here, that kind of messes stuff up. Just that communication.
Are you talking about
piece.
someone we know? Are you hinting at someone that?
No.
No?
I could say his name. He doesn't listen to the show anyway.
No, I'm sure you'd be fine. He wouldn't know.
It's just I think that's the challenging part, because the puzzles themselves, probably when you go on for the first time, it's a little bit, okay, what do we do here? What exactly are we supposed to do? But with these 4, they're pretty straightforward. You know what to do. Lower the pylons in the timely manner. Here's where the echoes are. Go take them in the room, get the other echoes out, bring them out, put them where they go. Devon, we had a hard time with the timed gates. We thought that there was something we could do to turn those gates off, and we're like, what's happening? So there's a bit of a learning curve, but having the PTS has been a great advantage. And so now we're like, okay, do this. It's becoming very procedural now, which is fine. But it's just communicating and having a good team to go with it, and having everything polished, quickest routes, using the teleporters, finding the puzzles that are on the way, not the puzzles, but the bonuses that are on the way, so that you're not wasting time and backtracking and stuff. So
Devon, what do you think?
Not bad.
Yeah, what do you think about the difficulty, Devon?
I think it's fine. They're fun to learn. In the very beginning, they're fun, and some of the later ones that they're going to bring out, I look forward to people trying those out. It was definitely interesting, in the PTS, where it was like just a couple of them, and then they're like, okay, all of them are there, and then they just left them there for a really long time. So it was easy. It was easy for us to run them because they were always there, and that's also another part of my problem. Is it's like, okay, it just kind of messed up everything of my flow of how we would go through the Cataclysm, and the experience. Because there was no ramp up, or like they're doing now, where it's the weekly. Okay, this is, we have 3, and now we're doing 4, and then we're doing 5, but I understand that's what they're doing to keep people coming back each week. There's a new puzzle this week. You gotta come check it out, do this. But I think the difficulty is fine. It seems like the echoes give the people the most trouble because, either they're not paying attention. If you have one person that's not paying attention, they grab an echo or just run into it. Or if they don't know that they can't go through the gate, and you lose your piece. And just those little things that can cause problems. And again, it all comes down to the communication and, people just listening, or when they're brand new and don't know, Again, when you're playing with randoms, it's hard to, know what they know. So, because you don't know if they're brand new, if this is only their couple times, and somebody else always completes this part of the puzzle. I don't really know. It's like you said, until they go through them and try it. So.
Yeah, I just assume that anyone that wears the Gravit ears are brand new. So that's what I assume. It's like they ran, they got the Graviteers. They put them on. This is their second time running it. So that's
I
just
still don't have my Graviteers.
That's funny.
That is
That's weird. So I actually really like the way that they're ramping up the puzzles. Because it makes it different every week. So it's not the same thing for like the whole 6 weeks that we're going to be going through this. It gives it a little bit of variety for the event, which I really enjoy. Because you're right, when they had the PTS open for 57 days, where we had access to the majority of the things for half of the time, it just seemed like, okay, we're doing the same thing again. But now that they're ramping these up one per week, it actually makes it feel like, okay, there's something different. Those challenges where you have to get 1,000,000 points, those are going to become easier and easier for everyone, because it's going to be more options to get more points. So I mean, even that way, ramping up the score to where people will be able to complete those harder challenges, I like the way that they did that. I think I would prefer it if there was something for those people that made it onto the top 500 leaderboards. Currently, right now, if you're the top of the leaderboard, they're going to put your name on. They called it a Cortex. I don't know where they're housing that. Currently, your name is in what's the word when it's like there forever? It's not engraven. It's golden, immortalized. It's immortalized on the EA answer form. So for people that go there, that's cool to see. But it'd be cool if it was somewhere in there.
I mean, the problem with the leaderboards is all the the ways you can basically cheat the leaderboard. Right now and get yourself a higher score. So it's frustrating because you can kind of glitch a few things and get yourself a higher score. And so I don't know. Right now, like the leaderboards are tainted for me, anyways, because you can kind of cheese them a little bit and get a higher score and really help out. But I don't know how much that affects it. Have you guys tried to see if the Ivara bug is still in there? If you don't complete it and it still adds to the multiplier, have you seen any of that?
That is not in there, no.
Okay.
That one isn't in there anyway. There's a couple other things that people are doing that Devon's referring to. I don't know if we should talk about them here. Maybe we'll talk about them after they fix them. Because I guess you don't want to. I don't know. It's tough to.
The more people know, the faster they'll have to fix it, right? Or they won't. Whatever. I don't know.
Or they won't. I mean, it's a name at the top of a leaderboard that doesn't mean much. But I don't know if you talk about it, if it makes.
I mean, it's all over the internet, right? But we don't need to talk about it. You can, if they want to find it, they can find it. But
it'll be like the story stuff. We'll talk about it later if it's something that continues to persist. Because if they leave it in there, then they're okay with that. And if that's the case, then everyone needs to know about it so that they can push that score. Because then at that point, it's just like, okay, this is something that happens. This is a way to get more points. And you go from there. So we can talk about that later. All right. I think that's enough about the Cataclysms. Do you guys want to talk about the story of the Cataclysms, or do you want to jump into this sweet quiz that I set up for you guys?
Ooh, quiz.
Sounds
no,
spooky.
we can do the quiz, then we'll go to the story.
How about I do the story real quick? I'll just breeze through the story for the people that are interested in the story and a couple of the points that are out there. I know Mike is like falling asleep right now because I mentioned the word story. So really quick. I know, Mike, it's hilarious. So Boom Nation says story. So we're going to go with chat. Okay, the Cataclysm story. This is kind of interesting. So the spear is actually it's the call sign of Vera herself. She has a group of Valkyries. They're called the Wings of the Spear. She is one of the higher ranking individuals. Sorry, my dog is like, I don't know what he's doing right now. Knock it off, dog. So Vera is one of the high ranking individuals in the Dominion. Currently, there's still a lot unknown of whether or what happened to break off Vera and her people from the Dominion themselves. We know that the Monitor that we fought was actually the brother of Vera, which we don't exactly know, why that connection matters yet, but I'm guessing that we will know more in the future, because currently we only have about half the story. We know that Dr. Harkin is alive. We were given a quest from the Grandmaster Adams to go out and investigate some Dominion stuff that was going on. We found Dr. Harkin. He's trying to, bring about another cataclysm. We find out that he's able to teleport inside of a Strider, which if you don't read a lot into the Cortex, that's something that like really shouldn't be possible. It's super dangerous for people to to teleport like that. Most people that do it go mad, but to be able to do that inside of a Strider with that kind of precision it makes me think that Dr. Harkin is not really human, because the guy's just kind of an enigma already. So I'm guessing Dr. Harkin is not human. Okay. So we find out that he actually wants to try and stop Vera from creating this cataclysm, we think. Or we're just being used for him to further his goals somehow.
He's just testing stuff, is my opinion.
He's just testing himself?
Well, testing different things. Like what I see it as, like he set up what she is doing, and he's also setting up what we're doing, and he's kind of going back and forth and getting results. So he has hypotheses, and he's testing each side of the things that he's trying to do, and both sides are trying to accomplish a goal for him and working against each other, but they don't know that he has pitted them against each other. In my opinion, right? This is just what
I mean, we definitely he is pulling strings like that. We don't even know exactly what he's up to, right? And you're probably right. We know that Vera melds with the Shaper Relic. I don't know if that Shaper Relic is the spear itself, which is very possible. I mean, we know Helena had a sword. That's probably we're going to hear about in the future. So I don't know if like this spear is actually the spear of Strahl that she picked up when she fought off the Urgoth. So there's a lot of stuff going on that they allude to. They don't talk much about why Vera is doing this, except for a little clips of, I think she is actually fighting against the Urgoth, and she's trying to find a way to stop the Urgoth. I don't know if that's creating an alternate reality where they never existed. If that's her plan, maybe we'll learn more as the Cataclysm rolls on. But it seems like her goal is to save her people from the Urgoth, and this is the way that she is planning on doing that. We as freelancers, we shut down Cataclysm, so we're going to go stop her. Harkin is going to help us. He creates the egress for our Dawn Shield. The egress actually lets us access this alternate reality. And our freelancer also mentions something called the Sattenuator, but there's no mention of that. There's no mission where we actually do that, where we give pieces for Harkin to make a Sattenuator for us. I don't know if something was cut from the game, and they just kind of had to shorten that down. So there's something in there that's missing about a Sattenuator. I don't know if it's important. It's probably not. It got cut. Maybe it got cut for who knows why. So we help Harkin.
That's not the pieces that we had to go grab in the beginning? That's different than what we had to go grab?
That's what we grabbed for the egress.
Oh, that's right. The egress, not the
The Sattenuator is something completely different. Yeah, so we don't know anything about that. We probably won't because it sounds like it got cut from the story. And then we've got Harkin in jail. He wants us to go test out a couple things in the Cataclysm to figure out, how to shut this thing down. And he's like, I don't know, go figure it out. Go test it. Be an Arcanist, So that's currently what we're doing. We're going to the Cataclysm over and over again. We're eventually going to find something that'll stop it. And so far, that's where we are with the story. I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, we've seen a lot of what happens in the PTS, but that doesn't mean things could have been added or things could be changed. So I'm excited to see where we go from here. It's an exciting time. I want to know what's up with that spear because I'm guessing it's super important, but I could also be wrong. So who knows? Presley, what inside details do you have about the story that you can share with us?
Crickets.
It's cool.
All right, fair enough. That's kind of the story for now. We'll talk more about it as we go with the Cataclysm. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I have a sound game. Since Presley is in audio department, I have pulled off 10 sounds from the internet that I have found. Some of them are from Anthem themselves. Some of them are very iconic sounds that are easily recognizable. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to play a clip. You guys are going to call out your name when you think you know what it is. If you get it right, you get a point. And if you don't get it right, well, then you don't get a point. So I'll play it as many times as you guys want. So if you call out your name and you get it wrong, you can't guess anymore. You just get one chance. Okay. So a couple of these are going to be really easy. I expect you to get them really fast just to kind of warm up. Some of these are kind of hard. So I've got 5 that are not from Anthem, then I have 5 that are from Anthem. So, and I think a lot of these are things that you worked on, Presley, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's just cheating.
Let's see if I remember my own stuff.
Yeah, so if you don't get these, we'll be super disappointed, okay? Mike, Devon, you guys ready?
Ready.
So one thing that we do when you have to call out something when to be called on. So it can be your name, it can be whatever.
Devon,
so
this is Steven's voice. Did I get a point? So, no.
That was really good, Devon. You got a point. That was my. You guys just. Okay? So here we go. This is the first audio clip playing now.
Mike.
Michael.
Shuffling cards.
That is shuffling cards. Well done, Mike. You get 1 point. All right, you guys ready? This one's going to be an easy one, so you guys better get ready.
Mike.
Mike. I'm going to record that noise.
Mario jumping.
Well done, Mike. Well done. All right.
I'm pretty sure I mumbled first, but it's okay.
The mumble did not come through the audio. All right, here is the third one.
Devon.
I'll play it again. All right, Devon.
Gunfire.
That is incorrect.
Yes, I didn't get a point.
There we go.
Are we looking for a very specific thing here? Is that what's going on?
Yep, this is the sound something makes when it hits something. This is like iconic.
Like a book falling?
It is not a book falling. I mean,
You
guys can
say
only
it's
try.
iconic. We say we don't know
Yeah,
what
if
it
it's
is.
if it's iconic, we haven't heard it.
I mean,
One more
it's
time. Sorry, one more time. Go ahead.
America's pastime.
Fireworks.
America's pastime.
Yep.
I'm not American.
North America.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they do this in
It's
Canada
fireworks?
also. Sure. Nope.
I'm pretty. Is it like a hockey puck hitting the side of the rink?
It is not, but you're close. It is part of a sport. There is sports involved. Hey, Phaedron got it right from the chat. This is the ball hitting the mitt. I will
What?
add Phaedron to here, and I will
No,
give
it's
Phaedron.
not. No,
That
it's
is a
not.
ball hitting
Nope.
hitting a glove. It
Negative.
is.
What?
Negative.
At what speed? Who's throwing that ball? Is it coming out of a machine at a couple 100 miles an hour? What's going on?
It
I'm gonna
sounds
add
very
Phaedron.
echoey coming from your microphone. So I'm sitting there going, "What makes that much reverb? Where's
Yeah.
that coming from?"
All right, moving on to number 4. Good job, Phaedron. Phaedron got it. You know,
I'm proud of you,
okay.
Phaedron.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm
You're
looking
not supposed
for
to tell us.
is what makes this sound. So what object makes this sound? Play it again. Presley.
Is that cracking ice?
It is not cracking ice. It's
Okay.
close. It's cracking something.
Chips.
It is not cracking chips.
Paper.
Not paper.
I know we're not supposed to keep guessing, but I'm going to
You
anyway.
can keep guessing. That's fine. We can change all the rules of this game on the fly.
Is it chewing?
It is not chewing. This is actually, as I was looking for sounds, this one came up quite often.
It's friggin' vegetables of some nature.
I'll give it to you because it's celery
Is it
breaking.
celery? It's celery. Great.
I will take vegetables of some nature, and that will be close enough.
Funnily enough, though, it's hilarious, right? Because the whole vegetables cracking thing is used for basically every sort of crack sound in a game ever. It's one of the staple. Well, we need the sound of bones breaking, or we need the sound of whatever happening, and it almost always ends up being celery or lettuce or carrots. Usually, carrots are a big one, and it's
Maybe
always
have
those
a
things.
crisp
They just
snap.
have such a nice, rich sound to them, so I can see why. All right, this is number 5. So this will be one of those softballs that I throw up to you guys. Ready? Mike.
What?
Right,
He called his name before you even heard it. That's BS.
Well, so Mike, you get to guess.
It's picking up a coin in Mario.
That is incorrect.
No, it's not. It's Sonic.
Oh, that's right.
Hey!
But you didn't call your name, so
I did. Well, I started calling my name, and then I stopped. I'm really bad at that part. Okay.
All right, so this.
We're
so
pretty
these
lenient with
next
rules
5
right here.
are actually from Anthem. So I think these are gonna be kind of tough, but I think you guys should be able to get these. I hope. All right, so this is first one from Anthem.
Presley.
Mike.
I heard Presley first.
It's a grabbitsis.
That is a grab it. that is a grab it by the river that I took a video of a
Is
really
that
long.
from like the opening shot, or was that just
No.
like recorded in game?
Yeah, this is just recorded in game.
All right.
All right, so this I will give you guys a hint that this is one of the bosses that is currently in the game. So here we go.
Mike.
Mike.
Swarm Tyrant.
That is not the Swarm Tyrant. There's not that many bosses in the game, guys.
It's the boss at the end of the sunken one. I don't remember.
That is the boss at the end of the
Is it
second
the
cell.
Sunken Fury?
Yeah.
Unfathomed.
That's what it is.
So I will give Devon
Point
one
for
point. Fine.
me.
Devon and Phaedron are tied now.
You going
So
down,
Devon's
Phaedron?
Okay, so this one, you guys should know this one. This is one of the legendary weapons. Ready? So Presley, maybe you actually worked on this one.
Mike.
Sorry. Go ahead. Answer it.
No, did I get called? I don't know. If I
Yes,
You did.
said Mike.
I think
Presley
it's
just laughed, so I could not take that.
okay. Artinia's Gambit.
That is Artinia's Gambit. Well
It's like
done,
that's
Mike.
Steven's favorite weapon. Is what that is.
It really
It's a
is.
great weapon. It's really
I
great.
love it. All right, so we got two more here. So Devon and Presley, you have the opportunity to tie it up if you get both of these right. So this last one is pretty involved. I'm not going to give you any hints. So this will be the game on the line here. So second to last one. Here we go. I left a little hint at the end of that one, so you guys would be able to figure it out a little bit
Devon.
easier. Oh, one more time. Go ahead, Devon.
Breaking the door off of the Strider during
You're
the
gonna have to be more
public of
specific.
during the events where you have to break the door off.
Okay, that is incorrect.
Oh darn it!
I'll play it
But
one
I'm
more time.
close.
Presley.
Oh.
All right, Presley.
It's the is it the like when you're first meeting wow. Presley. Words are leaving me right now. They're putting me on the spot. That's the opening. Ah, hey, and then you walk into the thing and you do
Nope,
the
this is not the opening.
This is when you
No,
fight the
no, no,
monitor.
it's not the
It's when
opening,
you
it's
fight
not
the
the-
monitor and it crashes, right? When he crashes the
this
Strider
is-
into the monitor.
This is when Halleck crashes the Strider into the monitor. So I'm going to
No,
give Phaedron.
that's, yeah, like when they it's
What?
the hey,
Phaedron!
you're like hey.
You're dead. You're dead to me, Phaedron.
You guessed it in the chat. So Presley, is that what you were going to say?
I was trying to get there. My brain wasn't really going for it, but I was trying to get there. I can see it in
Okay.
my brain. It's when you defeat the monitor and Halleck's all like, "We're here and we win," and it's grand.
That is exactly the time. Okay, so this is the last one. So Phaedron can actually tie it now from chat. Devon, there's no chance of you winning. So Mike, Presley, if you guys
Whatever.
get this, you will take it away. So this is a sound that I don't even know how I came across this. So here we go.
What the crap?
I'll play it again. I could not stop laughing when I heard this, and I just had to record it.
Devon,
Devon,
is that Yarrow in the pub?
that is not Yarrow in the pub.
Do it again.
It's amazing. I don't know what bit it's from, but it's incredible.
It is. I don't know how you even make this last sound.
That's amazing.
Any guesses?
Give me a second. You
Does
said
it have to do with Yarrow?
It does not have to do with Yarrow.
No, it's
Phaedra,
not
you
Yarrow.
are incorrect in the chat.
And it is from Anthem.
This is actually from Anthem. It surprised me when I heard it. I said, I have to record that.
Halleck laughing?
That is Halleck laughing. That is correct.
Boom!
That's amazing.
I don't know, like,
Do
so
it again?
this is at the very, I clipped out just the best part. So let me just go to the best part here. So like, I don't know if he like got punched in the stomach or what happened, but it's like,
What
this is
scene?
the very
What scene
end.
does he make that sound?
So this is after you get the Dawn Shield working. He gets real excited that the
Oh my god. Okay.
yeah, so Faye gets the Dawn Shield working. The shield actually powers up, and he's excited that
Right.
we're gonna go stop the heart of Rage. So
All that matters is Phaedra didn't win. That's all that matters to
Phaedra-
me.
so we had a tie between Mike and Presley. So well done. Thank you
I just
for.
want to say that I would have won if I would have said my name instead of screamed at the Mario one.
That's very true.
You
I just wanna
know,
point that
I would have
out.
won if I got more points than you, but whatever.
She's doing the best impression
would've
of
done
John
it.
Madden.
Just saying. Okay.
So
It's
the way
not-
games
The person with the most points at the end of the game wins, right?
Impression Mike's doing though. So
So it would have been me.
thanks for hanging out with us, Presley, on episode 99. It's
a lot of
been a
fun.
lot of fun. I hope we are able to do it again in the future. We're excited to see what you have cooking up over there at Improbable.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I hope we hear about it soon, like in maybe like 2020. Give us some time because there's so many games coming out that it's, it's tough to add another one on the pile of games that we want to play because they're just, it's a great time to be a gamer because there's so much fun, cool looking stuff that you can spend your time with. So
I already know that September is going to be an absolute disaster for me.
Oh yeah, this September is a rough month. There's so many.
Between WoW Classic and Borderlands 3, I'm seeing bye.
well, WoW
Ooh,
Classic,
WoW
you have no time
Classic.
for anything else. So
Correct.
Yeah.
don't forget your arrows.
Good luck.
Don't forget to
Did you take the month off? What's going on?
don't
You will
forget
not
that
see me for a
Yeah.
while.
all those things that we think are bugs are actually that's how the game ships. So
Yeah.
freelancers, thanks for hanging out with us in the chat. Thanks for playing this game with us. Phaedra, I don't know how you actually got points in this game that we're playing, so that's
Congrats,
I'm impressed, Phaedra. So until next time, there's a Shaper Storm on the horizon. We'll see you on the other side.
Peace.
Later.
See ya.
Listening. You can find us on Twitter at Freelancer Codex, on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or through email at freelancercodex@gmail.com. Join the Discord through the link provided at freelancercodex.com. Our show will always be free, but if you'd like to send some support, you may do so at patreon.com/freelancercodex. Our individual Twitter handles are at Stephen Lamson, at mlamson25, at Neverfear, and at JD the Joke Dealer. Freelancers, it's time to get to work.
It's so weird.
I don't think I ever actually paid enough attention to hear that happen. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was going through a video, trying to find what cool audio can I pull out of here, and I heard